this is still for the rest of the month. If that food finish, I could buy this in food.
20 minutes after the hour, Midtown Police Lake.
What's the time?
20 minutes after.
That's just for you, Sybil, my dear. 21. Straight from where?
Straight from Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, my dog, Manhattan. Say it again, 20.
20 minutes after.
Hey, boy, nobody could say that 20. That man saying 20 like he handing out visa.
Somebody asked a question.
All right. It's a hard question.
Yeah,
it's not
How the experience? What you had for breakfast today, by the way?
A cup of coffee.
And what else?
Cup of coffee.
Just a cup of coffee?
Yeah. About a mug.
A mug of coffee? Yeah. So you break around this day, boy. You break one by yourself?
All I would tell you is, boy, it really is much harder than I expected. It is really difficult. I try my best to stretch it as far as I could go. I have about $270 worth of food items left for the month and $252 for transport. But it's exhausting, boy. And you know, I stand up on the highway in the rain waiting for taxi and no taxi passing. Sorry to the people who offered me drop, but I can't drop my boy Robert Clark from Gael. And he'll come down in. No, brother, I can't take the truck. You understand?
Yeah. You could have saved money, you know.
No, I have to go to that meeting, you mad?
Serious?
Of course.
So you know that's
what?
You could have saved it. How much was the trip to El Secure?
$7. Like me not good, and I shall stop man in the back, you know, chilling, was listening to some Bob Marley.
Right.
A lady in front reading the book of Revelation. I don't know if she opened it to show me because maybe she thought again. They think the 666, this nature, the beast thing. Ladies and gentlemen, let me repeat. The 666 has nothing to do with the mark of the beast, the nature of the beast, the Antichrist, the devil, belly, nothing of that. This is just what the government say. If you make 666 for the month, you're above the poverty line. But Chris, it really difficult. The best part of it, even when you're walking and you're tired and you're waiting and you're getting your feet wet like Mother Randu say, and you're soaking and you're cold and you're rag wet and you're starting to smell. You know, you want to go and bathe. You know, one good thing is that you just get to meet and talk to people. See, I like to talk to people. You understand? Whether it's discussion, argument, politics, poverty level, whatever talk it is. So that is the one positive that you get. I'm calling now, man. What are you, boy? Call the toilet now, man. Hey, he got gallery. Hey, whoopsie. Come now, man. Hey, a man says sprang. Give me the scorpions. The scorpions coming.
I not going to do nothing with you with your half-tired, hungry self. Stop! Stop it! Right.
A scorpion sting me. A feeling out there.
I think you should stick to drum.
Darling.
And that's the end there of 4-2 with Arnold Roberts. That was back then in 2008, where he took the 666 challenge, trying to survive. Okay, we'll be right back.
My parents' generation grew up with Royal Castle. From the first restaurant in 1968, when that distinctive, tempting aroma hit the air, they just couldn't resist. And like never before, fried chicken with a special blend of local seasonings and a one-of-a-kind flavor down to the bone. Today, Royal Castle still have that same delicious taste, and I love it too. The kids can't resist it either. Plus, they have more to enjoy. For me, the castle is more than just nice food. It's we own, part of me and you, and is the real flavor of TNT.
Island Hobbies, Ryson Road, Port of Spain, has the largest variety of toys in the Caribbean and South America. No one can beat our prices. If you see it cheaper anywhere else, prove it and we will beat it. We're open every day till late, Sunday to Sunday, even on Christmas Eve till 11 p.m. Island Hobbies, Ryson Road, Port of Spain. Even Santa buys toys from us.
Toys.
Come to the Waves Restaurant and Bar, Grafton Beach, Black Rock, Tobago. Great ambience, fantastic prices, all COVID protocols observed. Full premium bar available. Call Waves at 731-4646 to make your reservation. Come dine with the Waves Restaurant and Bar, Grafton Beach, Black Rock, Tobago. You must be vaccinated to dine in.
The Local Palooza Show and Countdown. Now showing on MCTV. Hosted by TNT's Rock Ambassador, Bees Hi-Fi, the Metal Merchant. See and hear all your favorite local rock bands. Keep it rock alive. Rhythms Communications Network. Local Palooza Show and Countdown on MCTV. The Local Palooza Show and Countdown. Now showing on MCTV.
Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket.
Number 3 Andrew Lane, corner Churchill Roosevelt Highway and Andrew Lane, Derby, Mousica.
Opening hours.
Saturday 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m.
Sundays 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. When you think about fresh produce and good quality food, come to Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket.
Number 3 Andrew Lane, corner Churchill Roosevelt Highway and Andrew Lane, Derby, Mousica. Le Grand Coulon Spa Resort at Stonehaven Bay, Blackrock. Bed and breakfast rates available. To book, call 283-2597 or 463-2946. Le Grand Coulon Spa Resort at Stonehaven Bay, Blackrock.
Me, I don't watch people, man.
Are you ready for On the Road This Carnival 2022 with U975 and MCTV? U975 FM Hot Like Pepper Radio and MCTV present On the Road 2022. This carnival as we take to various bars every Friday until Carnival. Come and meet our on-air DJs, presenters, and enjoy live soca and chutney performances. Keep listening to U975 and viewing MCTV for our weekly listing of the bars in your area. All COVID protocols are observed and adhered to. On the Road 2022 with U975 and MCTV coming to a bar near you.
I don't watch people, man.
Marsha Walker. Join me on U975, Hot Like Pepper, and douglAR Radio every Friday for Fire Friday. Every Friday when we, the UNC Women, bring the heat. 6:15 p.m. every Friday. UNC Women bringing the heat with Marsha Walker. Fire Friday.
douglAR Radio is now on U97.5 FM Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio, Monday to Friday, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. with Anil Roberts, bringing you the facts on politics and up-to-date information. Also taking your calls on 218-7762. douglAR Radio on U97.5 FM Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Friday.
Get ready for the revolution. Come on, what you say?
Sponsored by Royal Castle.
What goes in is a local something that makes it all taste better. It's the flavor of our culture. Come from here, come from there, and everywhere. It's the special flavor that's made us savor at the Royal Castle. Oh, come the Royal Castle. Royal Castle. Flavor to the bone. Royal Castle. Taste the very own. Royal Castle is the local something that makes it all taste better. Taste the unique flavor of our culture at Royal Castle.
Yes, indeed. You're locked onto U97.5. Hot Like Pepper.
who are attacking the Miss Trinidad without any knowledge or information about the actual poverty rate, the poverty children who are below the poverty line. Back then in 2008, I was on radio with Sprangalang, and oh Lord, it brought back memories to hear Sprangalang, that genius, that icon, that historical encyclopedia, a man full of knowledge, wit, creativity, a true patriot of Trinidad and Tobago. I had the pleasure for about 5.5 years to sit down every afternoon for 3 hours with the Honorable Dennis Hall Sprangalang. But what that was, for y'all who may not know, and you can go on, Vishnu was telling me you could go on douglAR Politics YouTube, and they will upload most of the episodes.
All right.
Back then in 2008, the government of Trinidad and Tobago was trying to say that anybody making over $665 a month was below the poverty line. And I thought that was a ridiculous figure based on, at the time, the cost of living, the cost of transport, cost of food, the cost of goods and services in Trinidad and Tobago. I believe that that line was more of the misery line, which is a line well below the poverty line. I believe at that time that the poverty line should have been drawn somewhere around $1,100 per month, based on the existing prices of a basket of items, food, medical, medicine, rent, phone services, electricity, water bills, and so on. So I tried to live with $1 more than what they said was the poverty line. Now it must be noted that even with the line drawn so low, still at that line, 19.7% of our population fell at or below that line. So approximately 190,000 citizens were living on $665 or less per month. Remember on Monday I told you per month I spent $300 and something on newspapers alone. So you have to understand, in our country we had a lot of people suffering. Now after that, now I only lasted 19 days and all of my money ran out. And all I was doing was eating and transport. I did not consider any children, meals for children, wife, significant other, rent, water, electricity. I did not consider any of those other expenses. Clothing, toiletries, deodorant, soap. I didn't study none of that. I say I just going to eat and move around, transport. And I lasted 19 days. On the 21st day, Sprangalang held on to me and boofed me up live on the radio for about an hour to tell me to stop. Now, some of y'all may be listening to that on radio, and you may not get the full effect. But that was like a documentary shown on Gael, the channel, back then. So there are pictures, a camera crew was kind of following me around as we did this. Now, why am I bringing up this now? The Miss Trinidad and Tobago, the young lady was in a competition And the Miss World and Miss Universe competitions, the beauty pageant, have morphed over the years from just a good-looking, who's superficially good-looking and sexy and beautiful, and who could answer one question and look good in a bathing suit. It has moved on, like the current Miss India, I think she's a doctor or something, a scientist. It has moved on to beauty with a purpose.
Yeah.
Now, in that competition, one of the segments of the competition is that all of the contestants or the finalists had to identify a social ill in their respective countries, and then provide an avenue or an option of how they would try to appease the situation or help. So I think some people are totally misguided and misunderstanding. The young lady was not in a marketing show. She was not in a portion of a show where she is just to talk good about her country and her beloved country and where she's from and how we sweet and we nice and we have pan and calypso and we have doubles and roti with pilau and we just eat corn soup. We like to drink coconut water and go by the beach and the river. That was not the segment. The issue and the rules of the section of which people are criticizing her for, the parameters of the discussion was you must identify a social ill and present a solution. Now some people may have misinterpreted or misunderstood. Because Trinidad and Tobago, we have social ills. And the young lady spoke about poverty and young girls in poverty. And she described it. And she described it very quite, I thought it was normal. She did not exaggerate. If you go out there, where I go out on the ground and members of parliament go out, and later on douglAR politics, when we cross at 7:30, you will see some videos, because I said in the last 12, 15 hours, I said, listen, send some videos for me, councillors, MPs, of some of the poverty in your area. And I will show those videos on douglAR politics at 7:30 p.m. Because like people are living in a bubble and do not understand or do not know what is out there in the real Trinidad and Tobago. So back then it was 19.7% of the citizens below the poverty line. Kamla Prasad Bisesa came to government, created the Ministry of the People, and across ministries she told each cabinet minister that they were to create new programs, ideas, to present opportunities to reduce poverty in Trinidad and Tobago. So Tim Gopi Singh in education, culture, PAN, he increased the opportunities. Fazal Karim increased GATE and the Tech Voc. They built MIC centers with David Lee and NESE centers, increased training and grants. Differently able were given higher grants, and Kamla had payment for them to go to school, private schools, 2,500 per term. She increased the textbook grant up to 133 million. She gave laptops. She created programs across the board to alleviate poverty. And she got the number down to 16.6%, 16.7% by 2015. Now that is a good start, but there still was a lot of work left to be done. But Rowley came in under Emailgate, lies, and the mass media. And Rowley started to destroy, dismantle, and eliminate all of the work that Kamla Prasad Bisesa had done in order to alleviate poverty. He eliminated the Ministry of the People. he eliminated food. He got rid of food cards down from 42,000 under Glenn Ramadas Singh to 18,000. He took away the textbook grant. He took away the laptop. He took away the grants for the differently able. He put means tests for autistic grants, and he eliminated food cards. He eliminated the differently able grants for school, and many of the kids are not in school. Okay, he reduced the school feeding program from 76,000 meals, breakfast and lunches per day down to 48,000. And all of this was done before COVID.
Yes.
So what happened because of Rowley's policies? The poverty rate in Trinidad and Tobago started to climb back up again. It climbed from the 16.7% that Kamala Prasad had it at. It climbed up by 2019 October to 23.8% of the population.
Yeah.
That's 230,000 citizens living below the poverty line. 230,000 citizens. So how many children are living in poverty? Tens of thousands. So the young lady did not exaggerate. She did not fabricate. She did not try to denigrate a country. In fact, she didn't even highlight it as bad as it is.
Yeah.
And those numbers are pre-COVID. So now adding COVID for 24 months, shutdown, lockdown, broke down, state of emergency, loss of jobs, no hamper, no grants, money disappearing, no opportunity to hustle to make a living. The poverty rate now, after 2 years of COVID, has gone up even further. Somewhere around average about 29%. Somewhere around 290,000 citizens live below the poverty line right now. And that does not include illegal immigrants and children of illegal immigrants. There are over 150,000 to 200,000 illegal immigrants in this country. And they have children who are also falling below the poverty line. So to attack the Miss World, the young girl, ridiculously, and to pretend that we are so beautiful and brilliant and amazing and we have no social ills is disingenuous and wicked, and people owe her an apology.
Yes.
So I am down here in the car park.
Yes.
So maybe you could play a little Poverty is Hell, and then we will take calls. 218-7762. 218-7762. We'll listen to a little Shadow, because Shadow's song is about poverty in Trinidad and Tobago. What do you think? Shadow is not a patriot. Shadow don't love his country. Shadow is not a legend. Shadow is all of those things. But he wrote the truth. Singing Sandra, God rest her soul. Singing Sandra is not a patriot. Singing Sandra sang Voices of the Ghetto when? Back in what? 99? When did she sing that? All the other songs talking about the conscious songs, the soca.
Yes.
We have problems, and it's incumbent upon the government to provide solutions and to pump resources into the at-risk communities.
Yes.
Keith Rowley and his government have reversed that and have taken away the resources that Kamala was directing to the impoverished communities. He has directed them into the hands, bank accounts of his friends, family, financiers, and ministers. 210 recusals. Elections have consequences. Run the Shadow are coming upstairs.
Yes, sir.
Driving in the limousine, where everything is nice and clean.
up in the night and he rush for his pants. All he found in the pocket was a whole lot of ants. Poverty is hell. Poverty is hell.
My parents' generation grew up with Royal Castle. From the first restaurant in 1968, when that distinctive, tempting aroma hit the air, they just couldn't resist. And like never before, fried chicken with a special blend of local seasonings and a one-of-a-kind flavor down to the bone. Today, Royal Castle still have that same delicious taste, and I love it too. The kids can't resist it either. Plus, they have more to enjoy. For me, the castle is more than just nice food. It's we own, part of me and you, and is the real flavor of TNT.
Island Hobbies, Ryson Road, Port of Spain, has the largest variety of toys in the Caribbean and South America. No one can beat our prices. If you see it cheaper anywhere else, prove it and we will beat it. We're open every day till late, Sunday to Sunday, even on Christmas Eve till 11 p.m. Island Hobbies, Ryson Road, Port of Spain. Even Santa buys toys from us.
Toys.
Come to the Waves Restaurant and Bar, Grafton Beach, Black Rock, Tobago. Great ambience, fantastic prices, all COVID protocols observed. Full premium bar available. Call Waves at 731-4646 to make your reservation. Come dine with the Waves Restaurant and Bar, Grafton Beach, Black Rock, Tobago. You must be vaccinated to dine in.
The local Palooza show and countdown. Now showing on MCTV. Hosted by TNT's rock ambassador, Bees High Five.
The Grand Coulant Spa Resort at Stonehaven Bay, Blackrock. Bed and breakfast rates available. To book, call 283-2597 or 463-2946. The Grand Coulant Spa Resort at Stonehaven Bay, Blackrock.
Me, I don't watch people, man.
Are you ready for On Your Road This Carnival 2022 with U975 and MCTV? U975 FM Hot Like Pepper Radio and MCTV present On Your Road 2022. This carnival as we take to various bars every Friday until Carnival.
Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket.
Number 3 Andrew Lane, corner Churchill Roosevelt Highway and Andrew Lane, Derby, Mousica.
Opening hours.
Saturday 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m.
Sundays 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. When you think about fresh produce and good quality food, come to Fresh Street Market, your neighborhood supermarket.
Number 3 Andrew Lane, corner Churchill Roosevelt Highway and Andrew Lane, Derby, Mousica.
douglAR Radio is now on U97.5 FM Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio, Monday to Friday, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. with Anil Roberts, bringing you the facts on politics and up-to-date information. Also taking your calls on 218-7762. douglAR Radio on U97.5 FM Hot Like Pepper Multicultural Radio, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Friday.
Get ready for the revolution. Come on, what you say?
Sponsored by Royal Castle.
What goes in is a local something that makes it all taste better. It's the flavor of our culture. Come from here, come from there, and everywhere. It's the special flavor that's made us savor at the Royal Castle. Oh, come the Royal Castle. Royal Castle. Flavor to the bone. Royal Castle. Taste the very own. Royal Castle is the local something that makes it all taste better. Taste the unique flavor of our culture at Royal Castle.
So we're back inside.
Yes.
And we're taking your calls, 218-7762. So I'm not sure what the attack on the young lady was about. If people thought that Miss World pageant is just about like it used to be in the old days, just look good and keep quiet. It has gone a long way from that.
Yes.
They have to do a lot of different things, and one of the sections or segments that they have to do
is they have to do beauty with a purpose. So
Okay.
not only look good, you have to do something to help
Yes,
somebody,
yes.
some group, some people in your area, in your country. And that segment that you were speaking about, Miss Trinidad and Tobago, the parameters of that section was what are the social, are there any social ills in your country? And if they are, what
Right.
is close to your heart?
Yes.
And, how will you help?
Yes,
And that was the young lady's position. So I've seen some really ridiculous attacks on her. And knowing and feeling it myself, I was confused. Because sometimes, I don't know.
But
You
she
know,
talking
like,
the truth, man.
Yes.
I knew and I was intrinsically involved and saw what took place with the formulation of the CPL cricket, for example. I've never gone to see a CPL game live because I knew where it came about, why it came about, how it came about, and it was designed to destroy Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, a team that Darren Ganga had brought up, and the cricket board at that time had developed a monstrous, brilliant team that was dominating West Indies cricket in the T20 format. We had won the T20 competition some 3 years straight, and there was a Champions League that was coming around that time, and the WICB was attracted to the money coming out of the IPL and the IPL franchises, the Mumbai Indians, the Kolkata Knight Riders, the Chennai Super Kings, and so on. And they did not like the fact that there was a minister of sport in Trinidad and Tobago who was willing to take money and pay his cricketers to play for their country so that Trinidad and Tobago would have had the best team possible going into the Champions League. So they concocted, fabricated, and created the CPL League in order to destroy the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force.
Right.
Now, having all of that knowledge was actually has been a very heavy burden to bear.
Yes.
Because I have not gone to, I love cricket, and I love to lime and take a drink and watch cricket and excitement. Yeah. But because I knew what was done, that they mash up Trinidad and Tobago, they take Pollard out and put him as a captain of Barbados Tridents. They took Dinesh Ramdin out and put him as a captain in Guyana, took Sunil Narayan out and put him in Guyana, took Lendell Simmons and put him in Guyana, took Ravi Rampal and put him in Jamaica, and mash up our whole side.
Was there a reason for doing that?
Yes, because the money back then, the IPL, the Indian in India, they were dominating and they were putting some big money into cricket.
Yes.
And the WICB was making money. They were part and parcel. Every association, World Cricketing Association, was part and parcel of the profits that the BCCI group was paying.
Right.
So they all undertook that they will do their utmost best to keep the franchises whole, meaning the best players in the world would play.
Yes.
And when the best players play, the individual boards will get the US. So like, okay, for Trinidad and Tobago, if we won our regional tournament, we will go to the Champions of Champions, Champions League, to play the best two club teams out of South Africa, the best two from Australia, the best from England, the best from India, and so on, right?
Yes.
If we did not keep our players, you would be paid as an association the fee. So if Pollard was to get 150,000 US, the board will get that. And Sunil Narayan 140,000 if he was allowed to play for his India team, the Mumbai Indians or Kolkata Knight Riders, or in Dwayne Bravo case, the Chennai Super Kings. Then the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board will get the 150,000 transfer fee then. So if those three players were allowed to play for the Indian teams,
the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board will get like 500,000 US multiplied by 7. That's like $3.5 million each year.
Yes.
Because it happened every year. Okay. Right? So much so that the WICB CEO back then in 2011 called me.
Yes.
And said, Minister, would you allow Sunil Narayan, Dwayne Bravo and Kyron Pollard to play for the franchises in India and not for Trinidad and Tobago in the Champions League? I said, excuse me, sir.
What you said?
What exactly? I said, what you said there? Could you repeat that? He said, well, we would like you to allow them to play. I said, let me ask you something. When you pick your West Indies team and you leave out Darren Bravo or you leave out a Trini for no reason other than you want to pick more Bajan if the match in Barbados, or you want to pick more Guyanese if the match in Guyana, and you drop my players, can I call you and tell you to pick my players? He said no. I say, well, you're better, and I put some French in it. Hang up this phone and pretend we didn't talk, eh?
Yeah.
Because this is Trinidad and Tobago national team. Yeah. And I'm the Minister of Sport for Trinidad and Tobago. And the cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago is going to match any fee that is offered to our players for our Trinidad and Tobago to have our best players.
Yes.
He said, well, Minister, sorry. I said, I don't want to hear no sorry, brother. I find you fast and out of place. Hang up. So that's when they went now. The WICBC, well, there's a problem now because the Red Force always winning. And then they say, well, we have to deal with Trinidad. Because when they signed the initial contract, the international people are so myopic and uncultured. They didn't understand that the West Indies is not a club.
Okay.
The West Indies is an amalgam of sovereign nations.
Yes.
So they never envisaged, because they thought it was clubs. So when Trinidad and Tobago win, them didn't realize Trinidad in the contract, I had copies of the contracts and so on, that they never thought any cricket club, which is true, could ever match the money of the Indian franchise, because them is $billion business.
Oh, okay.
But they didn't realize that the West Indies is not made up. The islands are not clubs. They had it written, the contract was written like Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Jamaica, St. Kitts, this Leeward Islands, whatever. Like they are clubs.
Yes.
So they never thought that we'd be able to match the money, but it's Trinidad and Tobago. It's our country. So I went in the cabinet, convinced my colleagues, get 4.7 million, and I was ready there to pay my players. So that's where they got bright now. The WICB found this group of businessmen with this CPL thing. Sign a contract with them for 50 years. You have about 40 more years. And part and parcel of that contract is that there will be no regional tournament. Haven't you seen since 2011? There's no Trinidad and Tobago versus Jamaica, Barbados, Leewards, Guyana, and so on in T20 cricket.
My gosh.
There is only CPL. Because the contracts, are you ever hear about an organization signing a 50-year contract?
What?
Exactly. So it was all money talk. I was in cabinet in Tobago and my phone ring, my BlackBerry ring, and I hear in a voice like this, hello, good afternoon, can I speak to Minister Robert? I say, wow, who is that? I say, this is Venki Venkataran from India. I am calling you to ask you if Sunil Narayan will be allowed to play. I said, no, sir. He's going to play for his country. His country is going to pick. We have first dibs and we are going to pay him to play for his country, red, white, and black, because we want to win the Champions League.
Yes.
Well, all of that crashed. They started threatening the players about they'll never be able to play for Chennai and this, that, and they back off. I just stay quiet. But then the Champions League crashed a couple years after that. But we still stuck with only the CPL. And Pollard, after this World Cup that we just lost there, even Kyron Pollard and them didn't even understand what took place, because after we get blown out in the World Cup just now, that embarrassing T20 World Cup when we were defending champions, Kyron Pollard, the captain, said, we need more regional cricket, we need more tournaments, more high quality regional inter-island competition. He don't even know that for the next 40 years you cannot have that. because the WICB is so greedy and cranny. They sign off that for money. And you can never have a tournament. You could have your 50 over tournament. That thing that nobody does go and watch. This insurance company, Nagico, had sponsored for a while. And then it went, but there has been no T20. Anyhow, out there. Think back for the last 10 years. Have you seen the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force versus Jamaica national team, Guyana national team, Barbados national team, Windward Islands, Leeward Islands are in a T20? Not at all, because they wanted to destroy Red Force. And me having all that knowledge, imagine a man from Digicel back then come to me as a minister to say give them $6 million of taxpayer money for this thing called CPL. I say, what is CPL? Who is CPL? Who are the investors in CPL? What make up CPL? And he bring a PowerPoint presentation. I still have it home there. About 8 pages, 20 words per page. I say, boss man, when people come in for a little medals and trophies, a little $1,500 from the ministry for a tent and $1,000 for a DJ, medals, trophies, and a little thing for a caterer to have a sports day. They just put a better document together than this. You come with this little piece of stupidness for me to take $6 million and give you to whom? For what? I said, move from here with this.
So.
Right? But they went and they eventually look up to last year, 2 years ago, they get 6.8 million from Rowley and them. Because Shamfa and them don't know. They find Bobolina. You understand? Because they don't understand. Them pay, the PNM pay in 2020. While all of we was on lockdown and citizens couldn't come home, them pay $6.7 million, $7 million to them CPL men to host the tournament here in a bubble in Hilton.
You could get some ventilators and things, right?
But you could have get some food for the poor children that the girls talk about. 218-7762.
Trouble is this.
218-7762. We take a few calls and in about 9 minutes we're crossing over to douglAR Politics Live. You all would want to pay attention to that show. A lot of information, very entertaining, a lot of fire on douglAR Politics at 7:30. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Anil and Corky Boy. This is your partner, Sahina Sada Roti and Tomato Chuka.
How you going, brother?
All right. Listen to me carefully. A button for the comments the young lady made, Ms. Brandt, And let us go back in history. 2015, August 2015. PNM platform. There were 2 felons on that platform. A former governor named David Patterson and a fella named Tongs, a congressman. They were convicted for wrongdoings, but they were on the PNM platform. And you remember the head they were pushing? They were pushing poverty, disclosure, and not fulfilling the vaccine vagrant housing plan. So in 2015, they say it have no housing construction going on in Trinidad, and people were on the breadline because business closure, right? 2015 to 2021, to 2022, 7 years has passed. Nothing has been done by the PNM. No housing, no business stimulation. The economic environment has collapsed. What that will bring? Not strife and more poor we get in. So do you think we would have gotten housing? So the speechwriter who wrote that speech for Patterson and thing, and the same speechwriter who wrote it for Brandt had extrapolated what is going on, and we had a line in C3. When them people line up in Sri and they tell them they're greedy, what they line up for? Not food for the children, the poor ones. So I know what they're getting vexed about. The vaccination called it, and the ladies right. A lot of poor people is struggling, a lot of families struggling, and the PNM trying to cloud it over I mean to say we have to be honest. If that people all in the country have no devices, they turn them out of school. We have a whole population of Venezuelans coming and sleeping in hammock and thing all over the place. She was given a true picture of what reality and what the current environment in Trinidad is. I go on, you know, but I have to make one statement.
Yeah.
I'm vexed about the vaccine rate and blaming parents for what happening in the savannah and the tear gas. That is an insulting statement. I wonder, 50 years ago, the young schoolgirl, you could blame the parents for that or what?
Later. 218-7762. Hello, good evening. Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, I'm not hearing you good. Find a good spot. Distortion? On the radio? Or on face? All right. 218-7762. We couldn't hear you very well. Sorry about that. If you are listening on Facebook or YouTube, you might have problems because we couldn't even hear your phone. It might be on your side. Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening, Anil, and to Mr. Corky and to everybody out here.
How are you?
Sahina, all right. Sahina, don't forget foreign exchange. Mr. Patterson said that people can't get foreign exchange. The country is divided ever. That any time in the history of this country, I don't know where he got his information, but he was spewing it on the platform. We remember Glenn Ramadal saying, going down a precipice, crossing a river, going up a hill to find people. He took his whole office with him, giving the people the card, direct impact, giving the people the card on the spot. They didn't have to down because they had no money to do it. And they want to come and say what the girl saying is a lie, but it's because of who said it. She'd sell it and it'd make the PNM look bad because so much of money is being spent and you cannot see it. And we remembered Mr. Ban Ki-moon congratulated Mrs. Prasad on her social programs and for implementing it. Let them put that in the pipe and smoke it. Have a good evening.
Thank you. And you all want to pay attention because I was shocked that people don't know what's going on, so I organized a few videos to show you what kind of poverty exists right here in our sweet country, Trinidad and Tobago. Good evening.
Hello?
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 Yes, hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
I want to say good afternoon to Trinidad and Tobago. And I heard you speaking of the young lady who made this statement that other persons to go in. I have to go in and that program to let these young fellas know because that if the lady creates some crime. But that was something. If you see what other political office, that statement will get so much based on politicians, but because of the people's national movement there, and the young lady made the statement, she was not wrong. And let me tell you something, if I am still coming across around the area,
yes,
there is families where the children,
you're breaking up there now, you're breaking up.
Some people food right in more. Know them to when it beats them with a family, right? No, nothing. Just give them something to eat, right?
Okay, hold on. She's breaking up.
All right, but we got it just because he understands.
Yes.
There is poverty out there. And Corky, you get ready. Archie will kick it just now.
Yes.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Arnold.
Good evening.
I'm calling as a youth coordination. And honestly, it feels like it's a never-ending, like it's no hope. And we just getting up every day and, thinking like everything will be okay, but at the end of the day, somehow I give,
But you okay? How you feeling?
I pretty well, but it's just it's a lack of empathy on a whole, you know, and seeing the heads, you know, seeing what they're doing, you know, it's not healthy for us.
Very true. Well, you take care of yourself, right? All right, stay safe, my brother.
Thanks.
God bless. We're getting ready to cross to Archie and douglAR politics. Corky is on it. Good evening.
Good afternoon, and
yes.
Just now.
Go quick. You have 1 minute. Talk.
Okay, 1 minute. I'm saying it now. The lady was not wrong, and please, people, stop bashing that woman. That woman spoke the truth. There is families in this country that was surviving on one phone call alone. For a whole family of 6 and 7, and this administration, stop it. So what they're talking about is that real poverty here. Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you, my brother. And we heard you loud and clear that time. You got in a good spot. So, Archie, you should be starting, my brother. Kick it, Archie. And we will get ready. Kick it, Archie.
douglAR politics. This is douglAR politics, yo. douglAR politics. Listen, douglAR politics, yeah. douglAR politics. This is douglAR politics, yeah. douglAR politics. This is douglAR politics. douglAR politics. This is douglAR politics, yo. douglAR politics.
Good evening and welcome to douglAR Politics. Our soca warriors, the PNM so backward in the normalization committee. Imagine our football team reeling. We're trying to rebuild. We're trying to get back some sort of camaraderie, some sort of chemistry, letting Angassi work. And the only game that the normalization committee appointed by the PNM with PNM man who raising flower price also is that we get a game to play Bolivia up in Bolivia. Now them stadium up in Bolivia is 2,500 to 4,300 meters up. We boys can't breathe it like they go have COVID-19, Delta, Omicron, Brazilian and normal up there in the lungs. So unfortunately, we will get approximately 8 or 9, okay? Not because our boys ain't good, but because the management does not understand how to schedule matches in conjunction with a program to improve, to vet, to improve, trial and error, moving along. You don't go and play such an insane match at the onset. But anyway, that is PNM. That is PNM for you. What is that? Goat mouth. Oh Lord, I just say I have goat mouth. Every time I say that, it'll either be that or worse. But it's not goat mouth, you know, Archie. It's science, right? Sport is science. So when we get in line, all you don't get no horrors. You understand why, and I'll tell you why it would happen. It has nothing to do with our ability to play football. It's just you cannot play football if you have no oxygen. And talking about no oxygen, PNM will have no shame. We just celebrated a little bits of success at Tokyo Olympics where this young lady, Portia Warren, strong black woman, come and throw from nowhere and get into the final of the shot put. Going in on the heels of a girl who's Cleopatra Borrell, who screened for PNM to go up in PNM policy. I ain't sure why, because she loves sport. Me know what she going there for, because PNM hates sport. Because Portia Warren, we thought, one year show some ability, when we invest, get you the best coaching, the best program, the best competition, get out there early so that you can improve, so that you can move up onto the podium in the next 3 years. Wouldn't you think that's normal? Shot putter Warren frustrated by funding delay. National athlete Portia Warren's first meet of the season is scheduled for the weekend of February 10th to 11th. But at present, she has a slim chance of throwing the iron ball at her season opener. The Tyson Relays in Fayetteville, Arkansas, USA, as financial support remains non-existent for the TNT shot putter, a woman who makes
an Olympic final, PNM cannot even give up funding on time. Funding should have been in place since September last year. As the budget reads September, October, her funding should be out so that she could train, her coach could plan, and they could know where they're going. It's a system of periodization, macro cycles into micro cycles. You cannot be going haphazard. I don't know if I'm going here, what to do, how to plan, will I have money to go there, will Caribbean Airlines put me on a plane and I have to buy a $5 US doubles? Caribbean Airlines, oh they're mad. $5 US for $1 doubles. Well done, but are they really wicked at PNM? I really thought that this year of track and field will be different, and it got me excited. Becoming an Olympic finalist really gave me hope that I will get the assistance I need to take my talents to the next level. Seeing that I had made it that far with no help. It's about 2 weeks before my scheduled first meet, and I'm currently unsure on whether or not I will be attending. Shamfa, you're studying to shave down your head, shave the side, the licking you get, you should have resigned out of Tobago. You can't represent nobody. You cannot even represent our athletes properly. Unconfirmed reports. 6 under-19 Indian cricketers test positive for COVID-19 in Trinidad and Tobago ahead of the game that they're playing with Ireland today, where they scored 307 with the assistant captain in and so on. 6, and all this studying embarrassment to the country. The PNM is the greatest embarrassment to this country that will go on embarrassing this country for decades to come. Now globally, we so have COVID all over the place. COVID all in the Brian Lara bubble. Is 6 Indian players catch it. And if it spread more, how embarrassing. They will pull all the games out of Trinidad and Tobago. Great is the PNM and the management. But have no fear. Final works approved for Heritage Library. So no food cards. They have no money for food cards. Food cards program. Food support suspended. Children have not been getting their meals for the last 20 months at school feeding. 48,000 of them. Down from 76,000 under Tim Gopi Singh and Kamla. Down now under COVID, under PNM cheapness and greediness. Down to 20,000. So no food, no help, no grants. They're checking to see if our old people get a food card too. They want to pull that because they have no money. And final works approved for Heritage Library. National Library and Information Systems Authority NARIS Chairman Neil Parsonlight said phases 1 and 2 of the renovation of the Heritage Library, Eric Williams Memorial Library, has been completed and phase 3 is going ahead. They have money to uplift Eric Williams, the man who are we in this racial divide politically. They're worrying about that. Now don't get me wrong. Historical buildings, edifices, preserving our history and ancestry and so on, heritage is important. I have no problem with that, except that human beings living and getting food now is more important. You cannot leave our people starving, hungry out there, crime out of hand, and then you studying heritage building about Eric Williams Library. Let me just say to the Guardian newspaper take 3 big pages to try to sanitize Angus Young. Who the hell cares about Angus Young? Angus Young claim to fame is that when he brother swear on the Bible to be a super minister, all of a sudden a company that he's the CEO of, where we just drink rum by Frankie's, them get big and start to win PNM tender, $3.81 billion. The Guardian come to tell us about he and his family and how they sweet and they nice. Really, Guardian? Y'all are so sick. Rather than checking out the procurement, how that happened, how it's so coincidental that before small pin swaying, 0 public sector work. And after that, a small company outbid the likes of Republic Bank, First Citizens Bank, Scotia, RBC, and some merchant bank, outbid them. And then Angus Young, this genius CEO, all of a sudden only in the public sector, he also turned out to be a banker. He get banking license. Oh, that's so brilliant. Is there any connection whatsoever to his brother, the small pin, who out of timing and cannot dance, out of rhythm, that arrogant dunce small pin? Is there any coincidence? Talking about can't dance, I see Boris Johnson and small pin look like them is family. Actually run that number. Let me check that. Them have to be family, boy. Auntie, Boris and Stuart Smallpin Young had to be family. Ashajabi, no wonder you're writing sense now. Girl, you was getting job in all the wrong places at the wrong timing. Oh, oh God. But let me tell you, Boris make a mess in that same party. Boris went. A little girl was talking to her father about Boris and whether he should be prime minister and so on. Now, shouldn't all our little children look at Rowley, the man who bounced on a lady in a golf cart and didn't come out to see if she's all right? A man like Rowley who party, who went and spree, invite people and infect the whole of Tobago. Franklin Khan dead. We don't know where he passed, how he dead. Rowley, the super spreader, and doing what he want, drinking beer, open canister in public during health regulations. Rowley, who went on a plane to COP26 after being exposed to Gatorade from a lady who tested positive in COVID-19. I wonder what this little girl would have to say if Rowley was the prime minister. Run it, Archie.
Boris Johnson.
Yeah?
What?
Boris Johnson, the prime minister. He told everybody to stay at home, yeah? But in lockdown, the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, he just went down to a party in lockdown.
Did he?
He's being naughty now. So we had to go to the naughty centre and tell everybody that he's sorry for going to a party in lockdown.
Oh no.
So now he can't be the Prime Minister anymore.
Oh, can't he?
And he can't go back to his Prime Minister home. So he's not a Prime Minister anymore.
Is he?
No.
Oh.
So someone else has to be Prime Minister, and there will be a good Prime Minister. But Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, is not a Prime Minister anymore. He's a bad Prime Minister. But if he's lucky, he can go back to his Prime Minister home and he can be a Prime Minister again.
Okay. Oh.
But we'll see tomorrow if he's lucky.
Okay, tomorrow.
And we Attorney General gone in a room with 13 man will tell we have to go in wear a mask with we wife and girlfriend and family in the car. He gone in a room there. Them Attorney General went in a wedding, Andrew Gabriel, his good friend daughter wedding, 250 people while the regulation say 10 people. The PNM could do what they want when they want. I wonder what that little girl and I wonder what our little girls would be saying. But in England, them go on ahead now. The man who can dance or who does dance just like Stuart Smallpin Young, he gone and pull all the regs. And we now coming back to mandatory to fight with Rowley to make mandatory February 17. But look what happened in the UK today. Run it, Archie.
We can return to Plan A in England and allow Plan B regulations to expire. As a result, from the start of Thursday next week, mandatory certification will end. Organisations can, of course, choose to use the NHS COVID pass voluntarily, but we will end the compulsory use of COVID status certification in England. From now on, the government is no longer asking people to work from home. And people should now speak to their employers about arrangements for returning to the office. And having looked at the data carefully, the Cabinet concluded that once regulations lapse, the government will no longer mandate the wearing of face masks anywhere. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, from tomorrow we will no longer require face masks in classrooms, and the Department for Education will shortly remove national guidance on their use in communal areas. In the country at large, we will continue to suggest the use of face coverings in enclosed or crowded spaces, particularly when you come into contact with people you don't normally meet, but we will trust the judgment of the British people and no longer criminalise anyone who chooses not to wear one. The government will also ease restrictions further on visits to care homes, and my right honourable friend, the Secretary of State for Health and Social Care, will set out plans in the coming days. Mr. Speaker, as we return to Plan A, the House will know that some measures still remain, including those on self-isolation.
And we here tear gassing and mandating and tricking and getting the private sector to treat people in a discriminatory fashion, to take food off of people's table. That's the kind of dunce government that we have here. Backward Neanderthal thinking. But what can I say? CWU, hundreds may lose jobs at TSTT. Elections have consequences. All you play games and elected a man who don't care about labor. He want to make the rich richer so he could get through with them and go and play golf. And now people losing jobs across the board. What you want me to say? Really and truly, Rowley should only, out of 1,010,000 votes, Rowley should only get about 300. But all you want to vote PNM because Dr. Williams say Indian and African different. Go ahead. Marabella residents upset over bad smelling river. A continuous foul smell from the Guaracara River in Marabella has left residents frustrated, and they're now calling on the authorities to intervene. Well, Ethelbert, it must be the UNC who pay the people in Marabella to know the river smelling stink, and because the people in Beetham for 21 weeks smelling tutu water, and them can't, according to you, Ethelbert, the black people in the Beetham not bright enough to understand that tutu the smell stink. The UNC had to pay them and pay a beautiful sister to go and walk down, climb down, and pretend she fall down into a pile of feces. According to you, Ethelbert, you nasty, disgusting clown. Tobago will not be penalized or victimized at all. But a report coming out of the Sunshine, we will wait to see if the Sunshine is correct. Government to increase Tobago's airfare by 100%. We shall see. Many times the Sunshine gets it correct, very correct. So we will see if Tobago will be victimized. Big pandemic. And as we talk Tobago, pandemic, porous borders. Kamala said, shut it down, create a dome, security dome. Rowley and the PNM and the media ridicule Kamala about dome builders, dome cleaners, dome maintenance, and all of that. Brazilian variant came in, kill our citizens. Delta variant came in through the porous borders, kill our citizens. We still dying from Delta variant. Omicron is not here yet really. 17, 18, 20 cases. 99% of the cases and people dead. Up to 800 cases today. 14 deaths. It's Delta variant. Came through the porous borders. No diesel, no Coast Guard vessels, no radar, no helicopter, no air guard, no army, no police. But in Tobago, while fishing, 6 Bajan vessels in our waters taking and stealing our flying fish. Where the Coast Guard? In our waters, seen with my own 2 eyes, 6
within the 5-mile radius inside Tobago. Where the Coast Guard, where the cutlass vessels, where the grant small pin. How much was that grant you got from the Australian government again? Because we were so lucky when you and Rowley went down there to eat shrimps and drink scotch that we were so lucky that the Turnbull, the Australian Prime Minister, was giving grants for the purchase of war vessels, the cutlass vessels. Stuart Smallpin Young, exactly how much was that grant that was given to the people of Trinidad and Tobago for the purchase of those cutlass vessels? How much, son? Was that your lie? Kaya. Do a dance, man. Archie, go back to that first video there. See me fight. Come now, man. Fast forward, Boris, and see me fight. Only one small pin now. Small pin, do a little dance for your boy now. Yeah, you real rhythm boy. You just dance as good as you is a minister. You just dance as good as you is a lawyer. You just dance as bright as you are. Archie, bring in the small pin, man.
Hey, look at that. Look at my boy now.
Oh God! Like that man had hip replacement surgery, boy. He brain telling he hip goes so by gone so. He left foot gone so and he head gone so. Hey, you have to be real skillful to be so out of time, boy. Lord. But anyway, small pin, how much was the grant? When did we receive the grant? And what percentage of that was utilized to purchase the 2 cutlass vessels? Or is it that these people of Trinidad and Tobago took a loan and had to pay back the whole loan that you and Rowley lie again? What is the truth? Tell me now. Ministerial control is a terrible thing. Too much ministerial control. Who could say that? Kamla, Munilal, Dave Tanku, Anita Haynes, Lakram Bodo, Dinesh Rambali, Wadema. That song like UNC saying, but every bill, PNM this, PNM minister, PNM control, minister select, minister. But somebody say, why is it so much ministerial control in a bit? Actually, let me see who that was now. Let me find out. Run it, Archie.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to register my disagreement with that last part of the sentence, subject to the approval of the minister. You have a competent board. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Now they're looking to employ people. This is not just a veto power. After you go through all of the recruitment exercise, you line up your people, you now positively need to get the approval of the minister. I think that's just too much ministerial control. Let the board do the employment and take it from there.
Too much ministerial control? But a prime minister interfering in an independent police service commission to ensure that someone he lost confidence in does not, after topping the merit list of the independent commission through their process legitimately held and signed off upon, the prime minister interferes, intervenes and misbehaves in public office to cause the president to breach section 123(4) of the Constitution to allow the chairperson appointed by her of the Independent Police Service Commission to remove a list that had been given to her and duly delivered and to be forwarded to Parliament to allow her illegally, unconstitutionally to remove that list, cause the whole Police Service Commission to collapse. Minister intervening and interfacing continuously on August 24th, 27th and 30th of 2021 to influence a process to stop a man from getting a work as an independent police commissioner that's supposed to have the power to lock up politicians. That was a joke. That was opinion. But a minister appointing a board of Napa to see who could sing and who can't sing and who could have concert, you find that is too much ministerial power. When they have the TTRA
Trinidad and Tobago Revenue Authority bill, we are saying the minister appoint the board, the minister appoint the director general, the minister appointing all the directors general, and they had to report to the minister in people taxes and seizing the assets and so on. You didn't find that was too much ministerial approval, ministerial power, ministerial control in a Napa board to see who could sing, who is extempo, and who could sing soca? That is when you find there is too much PNM ministerial control, sir. They may Lida, I think Lida was making that point. I didn't hear Senator Vera agree with Lida on the Trinidad and Tobago, on the economic zones brought by Paula Gopi-Schoon. Run it there, Archie.
Question is that clause 37 stands part of the bill. Senator Lida, I assume that you're going to take over for Senator Mark here. He has an amendment.
Chairman, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And again, Mr. Chairman, through you, we see again these extreme powers being given to the minister, the Honourable Minister, as it pertains to granting license, revoking license, etc. And what we're saying is that this opens the door for the possibility of, again, that famous word used earlier, conflicts of interest, because it is very possible. And I'm not speaking towards this minister, but I'm speaking towards any minister in the future. A minister can have a relationship with someone who has a license, and then there's a competitor to that person, and this minister has the power to revoke a license. And we are saying that the minister should not have this level of power, and they should rest in the hands of a committee who decides based on all the rules in the bill on all that is required to become approved or suspended or whatnot, that a committee should be set up, independent committee set up in this. The minister should not have this level of powers.
Lots of revelations this week. Rowley admitting Kamala was correct about sunlight opening and so on in his press conference. It's independent Senator Vera now waking up and seeing ministerial, too much prime ministerial, too much cabinet control. And Randall Mitchell realized that putting someone on more than one board could be poor corporate governance. What did I say? Randall Mitchell, PNM Minister of Tourism and good friend of Al-Rawi and Lang, who does go like Budit and Lime, Randall Mitchell, woman do like, so off my who playing soca, they always stop playing that, just so all they play that tune there. Randall Mitchell admits on Hansard that having one person on multiple boards is poor corporate governance. Did I hear that correctly? Archie, let me double check my ears them.
These board appointees be prohibited from serving, if you're on NAPA's board, on SAPA's board or Queen's Hall board. Because we have situations in the country where people sit on multiple boards, and if the intention is for these to be autonomous in their remit for NAPA, SAPA, and etc., they should be ineligible to sit on other boards of this nature.
Minister.
It is not unlawful for a person who sits on the NAPA board to sit on any other board. It may be bad corporate governance practices, but it's not unlawful.
Bad corporate governance practices for one person to sit on multiple boards. Noel Garcia, Unicot and HDC building, airport, health center, hospital, community center, police station, fire station, stadium, and every house in Trinidad and Tobago. Red House refurbishment, President's House refurbishment, Rowley House in Tobago refurbishment, and all matters in between. The Speaker husband, Newman George, on 6th board, Ingrid Lashley, neighbor to Rowley in Tobago, on 9 board, PNM Eustace Nance's former PNM mayor, on about 7 board. Bad corporate governance, Randall Mitchell, boy. Randall Mitchell, but you sit there
as a PNM minister and look at the bad corporate governance and say, go PNM. Great is the PNM. Well done, Randall Mitchell. Moving right along. Big furor, including Independent Senator Paul Richards. He didn't comment on tear gas of women and children around the savannah, but he commented on the Miss World Trinidad and Tobago interacting in a beauty pageant, and his comment, Independent Senator Paul Richards, was that, don't blame her, she was not prepped well, really? How was it that she was not prepped well, Independent Senator Richards? Let me tell you all something. Gone are the days, because we must be a backward people, you know. Beauty pageants are not that anymore. It's beauty with a purpose, beauty with meaning, beauty with intelligence. Gone are the days of just sexy woman in bikini and, ooh, you look good. This is it. Why all you blaming the young woman when the franchise holders have a responsibility to prepare these women to positively represent their country? She was unprepared and did not understand her assignment. Well, Paul Richards, you're an independent senator, and you put that publicly. Let me alert you to the point that you must not talk about that which you do not know, because it's beauty with a purpose. The segment that she was speaking there was a segment where all representatives from every country had to specifically point out, identify, and talk about a social ill or social ills in their respective countries and what they would do to ease or aid the situation. So, Paul Richards, you do not understand the assignment, just like you don't understand the assignment of being an independent senator, which means you do not side with me, UNC, your old-time friend, or with PNM. You do not help legalize thieving. You do not collaborate with Bench to support PNM to make sure the agenda goes through. You do not attack UNC senators and don't say nothing about PNM. If you attack one, you attack all, but you cannot be selective in your attacks, Mr. Independent Senator Paul Richards. The young lady was in the part of the program where the instructions, the concept, the idea was each contestant must identify a social ill in their country. So what do you mean she was ill-prepared, unprepared? You are unprepared to understand the concept of the competition. You spoke without understanding, reading, learning, or anything. Furthermore, all of those things that all of these people, just like an independent Senator Paul Richards, attacking the young lady. This part of the pageant was not about advertising and marketing the beauty and the positives of your nation. It was about identifying a social ill. So are you all saying that she should have gone up there and said, while the topic was social ills, she should have come out and said, we in Trinidad and Tobago have no social ills. We are perfect. We have no poverty whatsoever. We have no job loss. We have no foreign exchange crunch. We have no crime problem at all in Trinidad and Tobago. We have no corruption, no recusals, no legalized thieving, no housing crisis, no education collapse. All children are online with laptops moving ahead. No sport and culture deficit. No gangs. No tutu in the B-term for 21 weeks. No illiteracy. No 818 children getting zero in SEA in 2018. We have no problems. No ills. No child labor. Our education system is flawless. We have all opportunities, pathways all over. The diversification of the economy is fantastic. That's what she should have said. Well, then you all don't understand the assignment. The assignment was in each representative of each country, identify a social ill and present your concept of how you're going to help. And that's what the Miss Trinidad and Tobago lady did, the young lady. Furthermore, I am seeing some of the most asinine comments I've ever seen. If you live in your little bubble of comfort and you go from your home to work and back home, you take your children to school, well, not now because no school, online. You go to Massey stores, Westby's and so on and come back and you are good. I'm happy for all of you. But as a politician for decades, as a radio talk show host, as a television presenter, as a national athlete and national Olympic coach, I have been fortunate to visit every nook and cranny of this country. And there is such abject poverty that was being alleviated. And after Keith Rowley came in, it has gotten worse pre-COVID, worse than ever before. We've always had a poverty crisis. It's always been bad. In fact, I will show you all that in 2008, while Independent Senator Paul Richards and myself, we were on Gael, he was on a show called Paul and Nikki, a hit show, and I was doing Spork. The UN and the universities came up with a report about our poverty line, and they drew the line at $665 per month. And I was aghast at that, because I knew that $665 was not the poverty line. That would be a misery line in Trinidad and Tobago. It could not be. The poverty line at that time, I would have said, realistically should have been drawn at $1,100 TT dollars per month. But they drew it at $665. And at that time in 2008, listen carefully, my people, 19.7% of the population was below the poverty line. 19.7%. That works out of a population of 1 million people. That works out, 1 million adults. That works out to approximately 190,000 citizens who have children. 190,000 citizens below the misery line. If you all don't believe, actually take them back to 2008. This is what I did to try to attempt to get people aware of what existed back then, and I put it to you now that in 2019 under Rowley, from 2015 to 2019, it was worse, and since COVID it is 6 times worse. Let's go back in time. Archie, run it. I think we have to try and see how I could budget this to stretch it as far as possible. On Power 102, some people called in and gave me suggestions. Basically, I'm going to have to go a mix of regular taxi, maxi, and bus. So, an average that I'll try my best to spend $15 a day. $15 a day in transport, right? Now, unfortunately for me, it works out with food and transport to $21 a day. So that means I'll have $6 a day for food. Pay too. But I down to, from 666, I down to about 638. Yesterday I took Mother Randu advice and I kind of fasted. Didn't eat anything until like 6 o'clock. And I had a Campbell soup, which was $7, and a pack of almond nuts that I found. And that is about $2, $3. So that was counted as $2, right? So that was $9. This morning I had a cup of coffee, well, a mug of coffee, because I can't do without my coffee. So my mug is like 3 cups. So I go say that was $3, right? It's now 1:20, and that's all I've eaten for the day is a mug of coffee.
Man get like he gets small when he walk. When you was going and start this, and I thought we was clear on what it is you're doing. No. He has lost his weight. Your money haven't finished on the 20th. Explain to me what is this way going on.
No, Harold tell me. If you start something, you have to finish it. So I finish.
But you finish it on the 20th, the money. You start the money and you wanted to prove the people was working for that a month. And your argument was that can't last them a month. You take out all the utilities and you decide that you're going transport and you're coming to work and doing all we does do generally around the place. And you will prove that it can't last a month. On the 20th when it finish, jump back in your Jaguar. Where you going with this protestness?
Dennis Hall sprang along. So it ended there. Because Dennis Hall buffed me for about 45 minutes on Power 102. The money finished on day 19. That didn't include anything else, It didn't include buying food for any child or anything. And 190,000 people were living on that amount of money per month back in 2008. When Kamala Persad Bissessar became Prime Minister in 2010, the poverty rate was at that rate, 19.7%. She put the Ministry of the People, created direct impact, and each and every ministry provided support to alleviate poverty. She was successful by 2015 in getting the poverty rate down to 16.6%. Not solved, but in the right direction. She had increased food cards that began under Patrick Manning from 18,000 to 42,000. Glenn Ramadasing had a goal to reach up to 110,000 in the next year. Because remember, you're going at 160,000 people below that poverty line of $100 per month. Per month. Some of you who are talking and criticizing the Miss World, typing messages on your iPhone 13, which costs $11,500. That phone alone that you are typing those vicious attacks against Miss Trinidad and Tobago for Miss World, that is a year and a half salary of somebody at the poverty line. A year and a half salary for them to live on for a year and a half. That little stupid phone you have in your hand. Under Keith Christopher Rowley, and you all want to pretend that policies and government and elections and prime ministerial authority and cabinet authority makes no difference in lives?
Are you all serious? Keith Rowley took away everything, took away grants, did not create jobs, no foreign exchange, mash up the country, took away school feeding, cut back on sports, cut back on, eliminated the ministry of the people, cut back on food cards, cut back on support across the board. What happened? The poverty rate skyrocketed once again before COVID-19 existed. It skyrocketed before COVID-19 up to 23.8%. That is 230,000 people living at or below the poverty line, which I describe as the misery line. And your people are criticizing a girl for saying they have children who are sleeping on the ground and have no food to eat. She is wrong. It's not hundreds of thousands, it's tens of thousands of children that are suffering and cannot eat a meal but every 2 days of limited stock, drinking sugar water. So catch all yourself. If you do not know, do not talk. Get out your bubble and go and walk. Paul Richards and others like you who do not understand what is actually taking place in Trinidad and Tobago. That rate of 23.8% was before COVID. Over 200,000 people have lost jobs since COVID. People have been starving, people going for hamper and the PNM calling them greedy. How many hampers have been given out by NGOs, living waters across the board, serve all over, UNC, PNM, government, NAMDEFCO, and people still hungry. And you all are saying what? The girl wrong? You all are not sure. If you're not sure, you do not know. And let me tell you, those statistics do not include the children of illegal immigrants. We have over 150,000 to 200,000 illegal Venezuelan immigrants here with children. Those statistics that I call, that don't even consider them. In 16 hours, I made a few calls to councillors, to MPs and so on. I said, just let me be able to show these people what they're talking about. Trinidad and Tobago, we have people suffering. As a member of parliament, as a politician, you see it on his body, your heart and your eyes every day. I know, I understand that ignorance is bliss. The ignorance is such bliss that you who don't know could go and buff up a young girl who talking the truth and who actually understated the problem. And all you go on high horse attacking and ridiculing the young lady. This is just from 12 to 16 hours that I just collect something, you know. If all you want to go around, take a drive, take a family, put them in the car, put some sandwich in the car with some water, and drive around this country. Drive around from down in Shagarama straight up to Matron and go in the back roads, go in the country, come down through, go through Barakpo, go in Princeton, go in Naparima, head down in Labre, Point 14 across the Mayaro. Drive and look, open your eyes and see how our people are living. No wonder you can defend recusal twins and Arawi renting building and small pin and Angus Young 3.81 billion, bubble billion, because y'all don't know. Sometimes I wish I didn't know, so I could drink a rum and mind my business. Archie, show them some of it. Run it.
Paradise, driving in their limousine, where everything is nice and clean. A poor man living in a teeny-weeny hut, the children hungry, nothing in the pot. He gone by the neighbor to beg for some rice. The neighbor under pressure by things ain't nice. He gone in the big shot area to beg. A police put a bullet in his teeny-weeny leg. He gone in the courts and he lost the case. Poverty is hell.
Everyone, I'm Seema Ramshan Augustine, Councillor for Baltic St. Joseph. Today I'm here in Farmwood St. Joseph, which is one of the communities within the district of Baltic St. Joseph. Farmwood is also part of the St. Joseph constituency, where the MP is Terence House. Today I'm here to highlight some of the living conditions. Farmwood is one of the most impoverished communities within the St. Joseph constituency. And yet the MP for St. Joseph, Terence Singh, only helps selected residents who he knows are his supporters. Parents are unable to feed their children because they are unemployed. For the past 2 years, the government provided food support and food cards distribution through the MP's office, but only selected persons receive assistance through this program. The rest are labeled UNC and gets no assistance. So there you have it.
That's just a little taste. That's just 1 grain of salt. So for all of you who don't know, wish not to know, or would like to stick your head in the sand, when this young lady made that statement, now I could understand if you all thought that it's a beauty pageant and it was just a question and you're supposed to talk about Trinidad and Tobago and our beautiful beaches, our wonderful people, our creativity, our culinary skills, our intelligence, our brilliance, our camaraderie, our melting pot of religious, ethnic balance and camaraderie and love. The segment that the young lady was speaking in, know your homework, know what you're talking about, was a segment where each contestant had to identify a social ill and do something because it's beauty with a purpose. Listen to what the young lady said, because now with that little bit of grain of salt that I've given you, and I'll give you some more, you all will now understand what is going on. 240,000 citizens of Trinidad and Tobago live before COVID at or below the poverty line of $700 to $800 per month total. Some of you go to a meal, you and your husband, you and your significant other, and it's $800 for your meal. You have a great time if you drink a little wine and so on. That's the entire monthly wage. And this is what the young lady said in a segment specifically designed to speak about the ills in your country and what you would do to solve it. And you all are attacking the girl? Run it, Archie.
Hello, my name is Tony Ann Singh.
And I'm Stephanie Del Valle.
And we are here in the beautiful Capitol building in San Juan, Puerto Rico for the Head-to-Head Challenge Final. The engagement this year has been absolutely incredible. We've broken records on the Mobstar app, and that is all thanks to you, our listening, viewing audience. You have
put together. It is a formula and a which is why my project is called Loja Lo Salimeti. This also directs.
Right, that was a little bit to tell you what it was. Final challenge, head-to-head challenge, topics. You can't just go and talk your own thing. It was about social ills. And then we will come to her answer. When Archie ready, we will play what she said about Trinidad and Tobago. Now that, look at this. This is our people lining up for a little hamper at South Park Mall, remember? Sweet TNT, not so sweet anymore. Look behind me there. And y'all minister call people greedy, not needy. And y'all I now understand why. Because we do not understand the poverty rate in Trinidad and Tobago. Archie, if you don't have it, it's all right. Everybody know what she said. She basically said we have a lot of little children who are sleeping on the floor and are very poor and they don't have food. We just have the long version, right? And they don't have food, and she wants to do what she has to do to improve the lives of these poor children in Trinidad and Tobago. And all you're cussing the child for that? Archie, show some more videos. I will talk to you, my people, to open your eyes and start to get back to basics. Start to get back to the good old days, as Nappy Myers used to say, where we cared and took time to understand and learn about others. Archie, run them one by one, the ones without volume, and I will talk. Look at some more examples of Trinidad and Tobago. Look at some of the poverty. Look at it and understand that is a home. 6 people living there. This is a village and in Oropuch East where human beings live. Families live in these plyboard shacks here. There are no bed and mattress and so on. This is a house where 5 people live, that plyboard shack, where we, the members of parliament and politicians, have to interact and go begging and writing letters just to be ignored by the PNM, who cut every social program, every social net. Go to the other 3 that are sent here, Archie. Go to the ones that are sent here before the last 3 on your WhatsApp. Play them and show Trinidad and Tobago, human beings and families living in there. Half that roof is tarpaulin, corrugated, galvanized, rusty, tetanus. If you pass and you walk in your house too close, you get cut. What are y'all speaking about? There are children living in there. That house have a granny, grandpa, a family of 7 plus 2, 9 in that house. This is all over Trinidad and Tobago, and this is I just get this little tidbits, bit by bit, over the last few hours, just to make the point to y'all. Look at this. That is a home. They have Almira. Look at Kade, a taxi man working. But look at the house. Poverty is real in Trinidad and Tobago, and we have to solve it. We have so much money, so much oil money, and 210 recusals, and all the contracts going to family and friend and man, wife, and renting their own building. This is not a game. So while you all are attacking the young lady, check yourselves, inform yourselves. How could you have such strong opinions when you don't have information? Look at this. This is not Haiti. This is Trinidad and Tobago, our beloved country, our people, our children. When you hear programs getting cut, Ministry of the People being cut by Rowley playing games so he could go and play golf, and y'all clap, and laptops that Kamala giving, y'all clap, because y'all have laptops. Those children now, the education gap has gotten bigger and wider under the policies of the PNM and Rowley. Go and read the survey done by the Dr. Selwyn Ryan Committee back in 2012.
about the at-risk communities and the abject poverty. So with all due respect, all of you who attacked that girl, go and apologize, please. Go and apologize, please. And don't take my word for the poverty as I've given you here. Go. Put your expensive gas and diesel in your car that the PNM take away a subsidy from. Take it and go and drive and see for yourself. Go to areas that you have not visited before. Go and look with your eyes open now. Understand that. And while this is going on, crime in Trinidad and Tobago. So if she was to talk about crime in Trinidad and Tobago, that in November we had 77 murders, that we have young girls that are being killed, raped and left by the river, she would have been wrong. She don't love Trinidad and Tobago. So to love Trinidad and Tobago is to know their problems and keep it quiet, push it under the carpet, push your head in the sand. So some of all you, if you have an uncle who raping the children, the nieces and nephews and misbehaving every time he come by the family house, and all you find out, all you go say, shh, stop, don't tell nobody, don't report that to the police. The family name, we can't humbug the family name. Or would you report it, get him locked up, let him get the help he need, and save the children from pain? You cannot solve problems if you don't understand that they exist. We have no crime problem either. Actually, show them now. Show them broad daylight. Look at this. Man just walking, man lying there. This was his birthday, you know. This fella celebrated his birthday. He come to get a bread to go and do a cook. And look what happened here. Man from inside hit him a gunshot there, straight in the belly first. Bam! Turn him around. Take his time and shoot him in his head. Broad daylight. Trinidad and Tobago. Prison officers murdered. Police car following them, you forget? In October, November, constitutional crisis. No leadership in the police force, police service. Murder, rape, pillage, robbery. A man with a little baby in the hand, carjacking. Man being found 3 in Almira, dead, shot dead. A pregnant woman shot dead. Oh, we got none of them? Nah, Trinidad Tobago, bring the rum. Hey, drink some water and mind your business. Hey, everything good? Y'all have no shame. And then while we doing that now, independent senators commenting on what a young lady said and still attacking her indirectly. But look what take place, Archie. Tear gas in woman eye, children, police force, PNM collapse, our independent institution, independent police service commission, appoint a hand-picked dunce, DCP dunce, and law-abiding citizens protesting, singing, praying, and saying Rowley must go. They get tear gas. This is great. This is fantastic. The tear gas was to bring tears of joy, not so. Let's celebrate. Actually, let's celebrate this. Yay, Trinidad and Tobago. Let's go. Run it.
In Trinidad and Tobago, right? They are shooting back.
Welcome, welcome, one and all to the land of death. Trinity to the bone. Trinity to the bone. When they come to Babylon, they can't beat me at Trinity to the bone. Trinity to the bone. Sweet woman buried abundantly. The brethren, they full of energy. Some people say God is a Trinity. Paradise are not convincingly. God gave us a spirit fiery. But nothing in the world will bother we. But look at smart man gone with money. We still come out and mash up the party. Sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, how I love of this country. Sweet,
We are more. A mother driving past innocently, going by the shop with her children in the car. Tear gas. Excellent, brilliant, paradise, or an lie? Run it, Archie.
Police and the government threw tear gas while I was passing with my vehicle. 2 daughters and my grandson just got tear gas in our face. It came through the van and locked in. Burn up our face. Couldn't even see to drive, but had to get out of there. This is total chaos. This is an innocent bystander. Rather people protesting. They have freedom of speech and freedom of right. We were innocently passing. My 4-year-old grandson. This is craziness. People, wake up. Wake up. This is craziness. My eye was burning. I'm the driver. I couldn't see. And I have a baby, my grandson. Look, my niece, my daughter, and my 4-year-old. I was driving blindly to get out of there. This was done by the police. And they are off under the government. Total chaos. I am so disappointed. So disappointed. We were innocently driving.
Alright. Where father, boy? Yeah. It's not a peaceful demonstration.
Tear gas, CDC recommendations, and then DCP done say, yeah, somebody was pelting thing at them. Look the man with the weapon there, a Styratex cup. Yeah, DCP Jacob. First you say it was warranted. Then you say people was pelting bottle. Who pelt bottle? No bottle pelt. Over 60 cameras. Everybody have phone. Not one glass bottle pelt at any time. You tear gas the whole place, including women and children, elderly, and come to say it was warranted. Well, tear gas recommendations when immediate signs and symptoms of exposure to a riot control agent. Eyes, excessive tearing, burning, blurred vision, redness, nose, runny nose, burning, swelling, mouth, burning, irritation, difficulty swallowing, drooling, lungs, chest tightness, coughing, choking sensation, noisy breathing, wheezing, shortness of breath, skin, burns, rash, other symptoms, nausea, vomiting, long-lasting exposure to a large dose of riot control agent, especially in a closed setting, may cause severe effects such as the following: blindness, glaucoma, a serious eye condition that can lead to blindness, immediate death due to severe chemical burns to the throat and lungs, respiratory failure, possibly resulting in death. Showing these signs and symptoms, that is what tear gas does. Tear gas is a means of war, a tool of war. It is meant to be a last resort. But here this one, DCP Jacob says, more than warranted. When asked by the media about using tear gas on people singing spiritual hymns, gospel, praying and shouting "Rowley must go," DCP Jacobs, the product of the collapse of the Police Service Commission through constitutional crisis, the man who was appointed financial officer by the PNM Colmimbot and now appointed by the PNM to act as police commissioner after he never applied for the work, he come to say that tear gas openly with innocent bystanders, all kind of thing going around, cars flowing through, innocent people all around, law-abiding citizens protesting in a democracy, shouting "Rowley must go" and saying prayers. DCP Dunce says that was warranted, more than warranted, he said. Jacob said last evening that tear gas is used when people fail to comply with lawful direction and instructions by the police, we have a use of force policy. Really? So when people fail to comply, so police say, disperse, go home. That is when tear gas is used, DCP dance. So if the people, if they have a riot now, and people are holding their hand, and torches, and big stone, and bottle, and they busting glass in window, in tongue, and fire burning on the street, and people violent and going to attack the police. What's this step? Because tear gas done when they sing in. When they sing in and pray, you can use tear gas because they didn't disperse when you say disperse. So that's fine. Tear gas done, gone. What happens in a real riot? Point your AR-15 and kill everybody? Your DCP dum-dum, your big guns, PNM clone? Look at when tear gas is used internationally and thing, and see if that is what was taking place with our citizens, elderly, women, children, and peaceful law-abiding citizens, just singing, praying, and saying, Rowley must go. Check it, run it, Archie.
Tobago, alright? They are shooting back.
Welcome, welcome, one and all to the land of death. Trinity to this boy. Trinity to this person. When they come to Bacchanal, they can't beat me at Trinity to the boy. Trinity to this boy. Sweet woman worried about the play. The brethren, they full of energy. Some people say God is a Trinity. Paradise are not convincingly. God gave us a spirit fiery, but nothing in the world will bother we. But look at smart man gone with green money. We still come out and mash up the body. Sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, how I love up this country. Sweet, sweet TNT. No place in this world I'd rather be. Sweet, sweet.
Dad of boys caught in tear gas melee. We tried to run from commotion. The father of two young boys who were caught in the melee when police deployed tear gas against a crowd of protesters at the Queen's Park Savannah, Port of Spain on Sunday, is angry and insisting there was no need for the officers to use such force. Casper Daniel said he was there. We saw what was taking place, so we decided to cross the road and went along to TGIF. Shortly after police deployed tear gas to disperse a crowd of protesters, the two young boys were captured on video getting their eyes flushed out. But here comes the Express now to uphold nonsense. So the Express and DCP Jacobs and the PNM believe that people who, when the police say disperse, go home, they don't go home, tear gas is warranted. That's their policy. Nowhere else in the world. No violence, no threat, no damage, no vandalism, nothing, just tear gas. Eventually a decision was made at some level for the riot squad. At what level? Who gave the instruction? Who gave DCP Jacob the instruction? Who gave the riot squad the instruction? Look, a man holding a Styretex cup and the policeman have on a full mask as if he in war, and they have gas coming. Eventually, a decision was made at some level for the riot squad to be brought in, signaling that the police were about to up the ante. Why would the police want to up the ante? Watch this mask this one have on. So them know they're going to throw bust tear gas. Why? You're preparing, we are guinea pigs. What you doing? And here the Express, signaling that the police were about to up the ante. What followed was standard riot police response. There's one problem, Express, you bag of illiterate PNM clowns. What riot? Define riot. Riot is singing, praying, shouting, Rowley must go. Is that riot? Where you get a definition of riot? So what you just call when man have gun, baton, knife, Molotov cocktail, mashing up things, breaking car, blowing up cars, mashing up shop window, what you call that? nuclear war, Air Express, riot. This is what the media does in order to pretend that what took place was justified. They concoct, fabricate, and write nonsense that goes beyond the pale of logic, responsibility, patriotism, and righteousness. How disgusting. Big, strong, bad man police with baton, shield, bulletproof vest, knee pad, all kind of helmet, and all afraid tanty. All you making the PNM make people laugh at all you. Big, strong police like some mama pool. Oh, you need all that force to deal with them people? Oh, gosh, police, poor little babies. All you let the PNM make all they look so stupid. Griffith criticizes use of tear gas against protesters, of course, because Gary Griffith is well trained in all of those forms of suppression of illegal activities, protesting and praying, tear gas. But Fitzgerald and the Minister of National Security, who know that one segment of the population, a large segment, is all racist and so on, but he could formulate policy, whisper in the ears of the hand-picked DCP dons, and control and set resources and put policy to suppress people. But he, without any form or fashion of evidence, find that the UNC is racist. But look what he was doing when Kamala was Prime Minister. Run it, Archie.
Come out is former PNM Senator Fitzgerald Hines. He says while the PNM has not made any public plea, he is still calling on people to come out and make a serious stand.
I give them my fullest support at a personal level. My only trouble is I feel it should really be numbering about 250,000. They should block the entire passageway. When I say so, they should lock down the whole of Rice Road and the whole country.
So according to DCP Duns, whoever was Commissioner of Police back then when Kamala was Prime Minister should have tear gas all them PNM in the Red Jersey. Because they told them to disperse. Throw tear gas now. What nonsense. Total, complete nonsense. And as we talking total, complete nonsense, Keith Christopher Rowley said, oh Lord, that all the brands of vaccine is the same. Remember that? But wait, just put that in your mind here now as I read what Dr. Hines, and Dr. Hines, we keep asking you, were you the recipient of a Joan Hughes Williams scholarship back in the day in 2004 around there? Dr. Hines, deaths 15.6 times higher among unvaccinated than vaccinated. He said there had been COVID-19 death rate of 40.69 deaths per every 10,000 unvaccinated people. There had been a COVID-19 death rate of 2.61 COVID-19 deaths for every 10,000 vaccinated people, he said. This means that of the 2,552 deaths occurring between May 24th and January 12th, 93.6% or 2,388 of these deaths could have been prevented by vaccination. Very interesting. 2,552, but on January 12th, they were approximately 3,100 deaths. So 2,552 from 3,100 leaves approximately 400 and what? No, you have 450 or 460, let's say, right? So 460 people, according to Dr. Hines, who were fully vaccinated, have died of COVID-19. Let me repeat. Dr. Hines said that 2,552 deaths occurring between May 24th and January 12th, 93.6%, or 2,388 of these deaths could have been prevented. 2,300 of those deaths, 2,388 could have been prevented, or 2,388. So let's take the numbers. So he says 93% were unvaccinated of the deaths. Okay? Fair enough. So that means that you should go and get vaccinated because it limits your risk of dying and your symptoms that we have been seeing, of your symptoms requiring hospitalization. But what is the reverse of that? That 7% of the deaths during the period he is talking about, 7% of those were fully vaccinated and died. 7% of 3,100. That's about 210 human beings. So at least from his numbers, 210 fully vaccinated human beings have died of COVID-19. So I ask you, Dr. Hines, now, the most pertinent question. Of those 210 fully vaccinated people who died from COVID-19, how many of them were vaccinated with Sinopharm as opposed to AstraZeneca and Pfizer? I repeat the question, Dr. Hines. Of the 210, or let's go with your figure, the 7% of deaths between your period identified who were fully vaccinated, who died, how many of those of that group were vaccinated with Sinopharm? How many, if any, were vaccinated with AstraZeneca? And how many, if any, were vaccinated with Pfizer? Now, my research and my information shows that that entire figure belongs to Sinopharm. That the full figure of fully vaccinated people who have died is all Sinopharm. I leave it up to you, Dr. Hines, to give us, tell me if I'm correct or if I'm wrong. Give the numbers, give the statistics by vaccination for the dead who were fully vaccinated. You wait till Kenny G died to come and tell we vaccinated dying all the time, while you're pretending that this vaccination was a magic bullet, so much so that you're coming to make it mandatory. But you see now, why do I say that? Follow me very carefully. Because Keith Christopher Rowley, the Prime Minister who has been carrying on this COVID chaos calamity, this war, the pandemic that we have lost, that we are now the worst in the world, while the UNC and all of us were saying, get the vaccines, get different, get all types, we need the best, we get the best for the people. Keith Rowley was saying, wait, Sinopharm, 205 million, call me back, signing an agreement, Sinopharm, Chinese, WHO, wait, Sinopharm, all the brands are the same, take it, it don't matter. Some people feel Pfizer is a Rolls Royce. Well, Lewis, he said the Pfizer is the Rolls Royce. But I'm asking you all now, if my information is correct, that 100% or close to 100% of those who died from COVID-19 who were fully vaccinated, the 7% that Dr. Hines is talking about, my information is that every last one was fully vaccinated with Sinopharm. Mr. Dr. Media, ask the question, please, and let us find out, because the answer will let us know what to do with this man called Keith Christopher Rowley. I actually remember when he said, "This, run it."
Do not deny yourself a vaccine because it is this brand or that. As a matter of fact, from here on in, the government will be speaking to you about vaccine dose and not vaccine brand, because we are to have vaccines in every health center and other places of service that we designate, as we will designate for our students and young people in the days ahead. Go out and get your vaccine.
I await the answer to that very critical question, and I remind you that Dr. Tim Gopi Singh and Kamla Prasad Bisesa called for a commission of inquiry into every COVID-19 death to lead to possible charges of criminal negligence on those in charge. So I again ask you, first of all, the statistics show to all of you out there that you are safer when you are vaccinated. It is a lower likelihood of requiring hospitalization, and there's a lower likelihood or probability of you dying from COVID-19. And we are not in Omicron right now. We are in Delta, heavy Delta, which is killing our people. As I said, Omicron. Let's deal with this clown called Rowley again. Because when Keith Rowley came in his press conference on Saturday gone day, he said, based on the easing, things being better from the 18th of December till the time he spoke after he went into hiding, that the government has decided to hold off until February 17th on the mandatory vaccination to allow people more time to get vaccinated, because the numbers were not as bad as y'all feel I lying? Archie, run it. Let me listen.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we will do what we've been doing, making careful adjustments. But before I say that, because of how the last 3 weeks have gone, because we are now in a slightly more optimistic viewing of Omicron, because our health system has not been overwhelmed as the projections were at the 18th of December, I have asked the Attorney General to take a little more time. And of course, it can't be forever. So today I'm announcing that what we had intended that might have been done on the 17th of January will now be done somewhere about the 17th of February. We give the population a bit more time.
If you all don't know that that man is a disgusting pathological liar by now, let me show you once again. So he adjusted his no mandatory for the 17th of January to February during that press conference because the numbers were lower. And the Omicron, we are a little easier and we're not overwhelmed. Number one, we are no Omicron super spread. The main virus here now is Delta, killing we, first and foremost. Secondly, let's read from December. Actually, put it up for my people. Let's see the statistics. From December 18th to January 18th, there were 697 deaths and 18,187 cases. Now let's go and check. That he said was an ease up, right? That was a weakening position, a more optimistic position. Therefore, he moved his mandatory policy back down, right? But let's check. November 27th to December 17th. Okay? There were 453 deaths and 14,346 cases. 453 deaths November 27th to December 17th, as opposed to 697 deaths during that ease-up period he talking about. There were 18,000 cases during his ease-up period as opposed to 14,000 cases. So, good luck to y'all continuing to listen to that individual, because they have known not what they do from the beginning. We are the worst in the world. We are suffering. He says that the ICU, and today we see a report just coming out from Dr. Abdul Angostura Richards, that the ICU are now no more beds. But that was simply because 3 days ago, many people didn't die as compared to normal. I know that might sound ridiculous. 11 people died as opposed to 20, 24, 26, 37, 31, 30. So that meant that some in the ICU stayed. They were fighting for their lives. They might have been getting better. The only reason we weren't overwhelmed over that period in December to January in the ICU is that everybody was dying. And that and all forced the PNM to go against the racist, discriminatory, open fire nonsense that they could not explain with any form or fashion of science, just to oppress one group of people. That's why we weren't overwhelmed. But right now we're overwhelmed with death, devastation, and destruction. And keep in mind, in Trinidad and Tobago, that some of y'all feel we have no social ills. We have no social ills whatsoever. That y'all can attack the young lady who is Miss World representing Trinidad and Tobago. Y'all did not attack Shadow when Shadow sing poverty is hell. Where do you think Shadow sing that from? Because all of we was good and we had no poverty. The poverty rate was 16.7% under Kamla Prasad Bisesa 2015. Went up in 2019 to 23.8%. And that's pre-COVID. Right now it's somewhere around 29 or 30% and not including illegal immigrants. So y'all better start the course singing Sandra too. Archie, run it, let's sing in Sandra, sing she song. Because this song was written way back in 1999. So all you, it had poverty then, and it worse now because we are Rowley now. Rowley is the worst thing ever put on the people, on the necks of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Elections have consequences. Run it, Archie, and only look and see poverty.
They don't smile and they never will. Only volunteers get the fill. Empty promises is what they hear. No running water from year to year. Hearts that no one desire. That if there is a Messiah, someday he'll hear their whispered prayer. Covered always bare and scanty. 10 people in a one-bedroom shanty. Forced to sell on the pavement. No vacancy, no employment. Cattle firecracker from gunshot. Blood that's flow when things get hot. Afraid to look out the window. To hear voices from the ghetto. Crying, 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 Lord, Lord, crying, crying. Voices from the ghetto. Crying, 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 Lord, Lord, crying. Voices from the ghetto. Hey,
Doctors just hold them head and ball. And them woman stronger than a wall. A big pusher eyeing she daughter. Son in jail for manslaughter. Too bad for he pay them black boys. No bail, that's the black man's choice. Like Shadow say, poverty is hell. She little girl child belly start to swell. Some say life is a cycle, but don't draw she no circle. Where will it all end? Only time could tell. Outside the siren keep howling, inside your belly will growling. Police raid very often, Simpson measuring a coffin. One night in bed you're sleeping, next night is a wake that you're keeping. So you're praying to win the lotto, not to hear voices from the ghetto. Crying, 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 crying. Voices from the ghetto. Crying, Lord, crying.
It is a government's job to see about those most in need, to create policies and programs that can allow every citizen of a country to have an opportunity to be successful. To hide your head in your sand because you are good and you are comfortable, I'm happy for you. But to be patriotic is not to pretend that all is well, to ignore the truth, to ignore the facts, so that you can justifiably dip your finger for a government that you feel you are historically aligned to and you're ethnically aligned to, or that you may be getting a contract from or a job from or have a contact to get water when you need it. We have serious issues in Trinidad and Tobago that have been exacerbated by the PNM under Keith Christopher Rowley. Poverty has increased dramatically. Children are suffering. The education gap is widening. People are hungry. Job loss is real. And the policies of corruption, legalized thieving, recusals, and nepotism of Keith Christopher Rowley specifically has taken Trinidad and Tobago further back than we ever could have envisaged. People are hungry and starving. We must wake up and open our eyes. Do not attack the young lady for speaking the truth. Assist her and assist other NGOs. But for you to say also that it's the NGOs that must do the job, no. It is the government that must do the job. The government has the most resources, $52 to $55 billion to handle. What policies, what programs has Keith Christopher Rowley implemented in 6 years to assist any poverty eradication? He has enhanced poverty. He is a poverty creator and must go. Elections have consequences. So stop using your words to hurt the Miss Trinidad and Tobago young lady. Use your passion and your energy towards those who are in power and who are not ascertaining facts, who are not creating a situation for people to thrive and be safe. The PNM under Rowley has created a state of separation in Trinidad and Tobago like never before. There are thousands, tens of thousands of children starving across Trinidad and Tobago, sleeping on hard ground floor. No laptops, no electricity, no water, no lights to study, no books, no textbooks. All these things taken away by the Rowley government that Kamala had there. Poor mothers, baby milk grant taken away, differently able taken away, differently able grants taken away. Elections have consequences. So save your ire from the little girl who represents Trinidad and Tobago trying to help some poor people and put it where it belongs. Squarely bolted to the chest of Keith Christopher Rowley, the worst Prime Minister in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, who does not care about anything that we discussed today. Those of you who are now enlightened and may have erred in your attacks or your words or your ridicule of the young lady who represented Trinidad and Tobago, maybe you should apologize. And maybe we all should move towards improving the lot of life for those most in need, not just because we are good. All is well. All is not well in Trinidad and Tobago. It will take a lot of intelligence, a lot of passion, a lot of heart, a lot of concern to improve it. And the improvement starts with the removal of the heartless, tyrannical, oppressive dictator called Keith Christopher Rowley. Good night.
Brings a journalist glory. No wonder they view the world with scorn. From since the day they born, some call them rebels without a cause. These social victims of unjust laws, but yet they christen the heroes, renegades, desperados, forever knocking on heaven's doors. Hear me? Steel band music shatters the silence, harmony to conquer the violence. Big men run when cops approach, fighting for scraps with the cockroach. Young Turks, they're tough protecting, almost every young girl expecting. So tomorrow begs tomorrow, there'll be another voice from the ghetto. Crying, Lord, crying, oh, crying, yeah. Voices from the ghetto, crying. Pitico, mama, pitico, papa, yeah. Voices from the ghetto. Social amenities, Lord, heaven knows. Opportunities, well, them always close. Can't get work once it white collar. So if you can't stretch your dollar, it's later for you crack or smoke your pipe. You're short of dead from gripe. Life does rape dignity and pride. Till there's only bitterness left inside, and every day is a hustle. Arguments are settled with muscle, till you're 6 feet deep by 3 feet wide. Children through life keep on drifting. It's something they're smoking or sniffing, or maybe they're trying to forget this life of misery and regret. No one to come to their rescue, Capleton and Boujou. So they boom boxes, they Lego, the drum out voices from the ghetto. Crying, 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 Lord, Lord, voices from the ghetto. Crying, 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 voices from the ghetto.